The Ekranoplan is one of the most unusual and fascinating vehicles ever created. Imagine a machine that looks like a cross between a plane and a boat, designed to glide just above the water surface. Unlike airplanes that fly high in the sky, Ekranoplans use a special technology called the ground effect to stay close to the ground or water. This allows them to travel at high speeds while using less fuel than a regular plane, making them very powerful and efficient. Developed by the Soviet Union during the Cold War, the Ekranoplan was intended to be a secret weapon. Its unique design and capabilities made it perfect for military use, though it also had the potential for civilian purposes. While the Ekranoplan's ability to move quickly over the water caught the world's attention, it was also dangerous and difficult to control. In this video, we'll dive into the history of the Ekranoplan, its amazing designs, and why it didn't become as famous as other types of aircraft. We'll also explore its legacy and how it might influence technology today. Get ready to learn about a machine that seemed like something out of a science fiction movie, but was real and built for war. An Ekranoplan is a special type of vehicle that can travel above the water surface, almost like an aircraft, but without actually flying in the air. It uses a phenomenon called ground effect to stay just above the surface, using air pressure to lift it. This means it doesn't need to fly like a regular airplane, but it doesn't move like a boat either. It sort of hugs the water as it glides across it. The idea of the Ekranoplan began in the 1960s in the Soviet Union, now Russia. A brilliant engineer named Rostislav Alexeyev came up with the idea for the Ekranoplan. He wanted to design a vehicle that could travel over the water faster than boats and carry more cargo than planes. This idea came at a time when the Soviet Union was in the middle of the Cold War and was looking for new ways to develop military technology. In the early days, the Soviet Union experimented with the design of the Ekranoplan, trying to figure out how to make it work. Alexeyev and his team worked on different prototypes. The first big breakthrough came with the creation of the Caspian Sea Monster, a massive Ekranoplan built in the 1960s. It was called this because of its size and shape, and it was tested on the Caspian Sea. This giant machine was powered by several powerful engines and could travel at high speeds just above the water. It was designed to carry military equipment and possibly even missiles, making it a secret weapon during the Cold War. Later on, the Soviet Union built smaller versions of the Ekranoplan, like the Lund-class Ekranoplan, which was armed with missiles and used for military purposes. They also created models for passenger travel, although these were not widely used. The Ekranoplan was mainly seen as a way to quickly transport military goods or troops in areas where boats and planes couldn't easily go. However, by the end of the Cold War in the 1990s, the Soviet Union's interest in the Ekranoplan faded. The technology was expensive to maintain, and the vehicles had many operational challenges. As a result, the Ekranoplan program was eventually abandoned, and the machines became a part of aviation history, remembered for their unique design and ambitious goal. Now, there are different types of Ekranoplans. Some were designed for military use, like the Lund class, which could carry large missiles. Others were built for transporting people or cargo over water. While an Ekranoplan doesn't fly in the traditional sense, it can reach speeds of up to 350 miles per hour, much faster than most boats. Before we go on to talk about the notable models of this invention, do like this video, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. The biggest and most famous Ekranoplan was the Caspian Sea Monster, also known as the KM, built in the 1960s. It was the first of its kind and became a symbol of Soviet engineering. This massive Ekranoplan was over 300 feet long and had wings that stretched out like a giant bird. The KM was designed to fly just above the surface of the Caspian Sea, carrying heavy loads like missiles or military equipment. It could reach speeds of up to 340 miles per hour and had 4 powerful engines. However, it was never used in battle because it was too large and difficult to control. The Caspian Sea Monster was mainly a prototype that helped engineers learn more about how Ekranoplans work. Another notable model was the Lund-class Ekranoplan, which was smaller but still very impressive. Built in the 1980s, the Lund was designed for military use, and it could carry missiles to attack ships. It was faster than the Caspian Sea Monster, reaching speeds of around 340 miles per hour, and could carry 6 anti-ship missiles. This model had a strong military purpose, and it was built to be a flying missile launcher that could quickly strike enemy targets from the water. The Lund class was much more practical than the KM, and it had a better chance of being used in actual military operations, although it was never fully deployed in combat. The A-90 Orlyonok was another important model. Smaller than the Lund and Caspian Sea Monster, the Orlyonok was designed to carry passengers and cargo. It could land on water, making it versatile. The A-90 was built to transport people and goods across the water, like a kind of airboat. It could fly over both water and land, which made it perfect for places with rough terrain or areas with no proper road. This Ekranoplan was used by the Soviet military, but it was also considered for civilian use, though it never became a common mode of transportation. Each of these Ekranoplan models had unique qualities that made them special, but they all shared the same idea, using ground effect to travel quickly and efficiently over water or land. While it was very fascinating, the Ekranoplan was also a dangerous machine for several reasons. One of the main issues was its design. Unlike airplanes that fly at high altitude or ships that travel on the water, the Ekranoplan flew just above the water surface, using a special effect called ground effect. This made it fast and powerful, but also very unstable. It needed to stay at a very low altitude to work properly, meaning it was extremely close to the water. This made it easy to crash if there were waves or sudden sudden changes in the weather. Another danger was its difficulty in controlling. Because it was so low to the ground, the Ekranoplan was very sensitive to changes in the water surface. Even small waves could cause the craft to lose control or crash. Unlike planes that glide smoothly in the air, the Ekranoplan was much harder to steer and required constant attention from the pilot to avoid accidents. The Ekranoplan also faced problems when it came to landing and taking off. Since it couldn't land on regular runways, it needed to find calm waters. But if the water had waves or was too shallow, the Ekranoplan couldn't land properly, which made it very risky to operate. Finally, the Ekranoplan was costly to maintain. It required a lot of resources to keep running, and it was vulnerable to damage in tough conditions. Its complexity and the challenges it faced made it not only dangerous to use, but also difficult to keep in service for long periods of time. The Ekranoplan, though not widely known, left a significant mark on the world of engineering and transportation. However, its time in the spotlight was short-lived. Despite its potential, the Ekranoplan didn't become a mainstay in transport. One of the main lessons learned from the Ekranoplan's development is the importance of testing and refining new technology. The Soviet Union's desire to create something revolutionary led to hasty decisions, and the Ekranoplan was rushed into production without enough real-world testing. This resulted in some problems, like its difficulty in landing and its sensitivity to weather conditions, which made it dangerous in certain situations. The Ekranoplan also taught engineers that while innovative ideas are exciting, they must be practical and reliable for long-term use. Even though the Ekranoplan was not successful in widespread use, it sparked new ideas in aviation and transportation. Today, modern engineers are still fascinated by the idea of ground effect vehicles and are exploring ways to use similar designs for new types of transport, including cargo ships and even future flying cars. The Ekranoplan's legacy is a reminder that even though some inventions may fail, they can still lead to future breakthroughs in technology. In conclusion, the Ekranoplan was a fascinating and unique aircraft that captured the imagination of many, even though it had its problems. It showed what was possible when engineers pushed the limits of technology, blending the characteristics of both planes and ships. Despite its impressive design and powerful engine, the Ekranoplan faced challenges that made it difficult to use in everyday life. Its low-flying design made it unstable in certain weather conditions, and it was hard to maintain. However, it still left a lasting mark on aviation and naval engineering. Today, the lessons learned from the Ekranoplan's development continue to inspire new ideas and innovation. While it may not have become a mainstream mode of transportation, its daring concept reminds us that thinking outside the box can lead to some amazing new discoveries. Who knows, maybe one day we'll see a new version of the Ekranoplan or something similar flying across the skies or seas. And with that, we've come to the end of today's video. If you enjoyed this and would like to learn more from the top channel on everything aircraft, do subscribe. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.